Hi, this is Phyllis, the second win, and I want to share with you this quick video just as a s- expert presentation on some sketching ideas. This is sip and sketch, but what we want to do is help those creative juices blossom, and apparently this gentleman is good at what he's doing. So I want to share this video, and I'll hide as much of these distractions as possible. And again, it's all for the purpose of having some diversity.
Whatever the case, I just could not continue looking at awesome drawings on Instagram without doing anything. I had to make something magnificent myself.
So just
I
grab
found a
your
killer
favorite
reference photo on Instagram, so it's
beverage
time we grade it
and
and draw
enjoy.
the outline for the face. The child's play is over now. It's time to start this grand portrait. And if you thought that I was going to start with something else, then you must be joking because here at this legendary art, we always start with the eyes. A quick tip when drawing: when your charcoal pencil is in a beautiful condition like this, don't be lazy. Get your blade out and sharpen it. Whatever lines or strokes you will get when your pencil is well sharpened will always be better than when it is blunt. Now we start the first step for the hyper realism, and that is creating the wrinkles for the eyes. I get my kneaded eraser out, mold it into a fine point, and I dab white lines on the paper to form the wrinkle pattern. When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you've lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, let us heal and grow. You won't be alone. Well, the eyes are done. It's time we get started on the main meat of the project, shading the skin itself. We are going to start with the nose using our 2B graphite pencil, and then later on, we'll get to use the charcoal powder. Since this is my first venture into hyperrealism, I watched a ton of YouTube tutorials. There were many different processes, many different methods that everyone used to create their hyperrealistic skin. But one thing I noticed is that they first created a base shade. They shaded the skin normally with graphite or charcoal first before they started to add the skin texture. And that is exactly what we are doing now. It's up there with all the earth that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and clean my throat.
Remember, keep sketching and keep sipping your favorite beverage.
Domain.com is where you go to get real, to take an idea and make it something.
I wanted to start to create the skin texture for the nose right away, but I thought, let's not be hasty. Let's kill two birds with one stone and shade the cheeks also so that we can create the skin texture for everything together. Okay, now to create the skin texture, what I did was that I created dark dots first. And I did not just create these dots blindly. I looked at the reference photo and I noticed that they came in different shapes, not just circular dots. You will also want to pay attention to the direction of the skin texture.
We will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
Now, after creating the dark dots, the next thing that we should create the white dots, the white parts of the skin pores. Now, the tumble mono eraser would have been the best for this since it has a small tip. But since I don't have that, well, I'm going to use what I've got, and that is the kneaded eraser. And now we move on to the forehead. But at this point, I had already gotten some experience with this. Rather than start with the darker dots, I started with the white dots instead. It was also around this time that I posted on my Instagram, and Art by Russell suggested to use blending stump for the dark dots rather than using a pencil like I did previously. At this point, the drawing was already taking too long, but I moved on with the lips. I lay base shade also for this as usual, and then I add the details on top later.
Yeah, everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's faking now. Yeah, she hates me now. I made mistakes, but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone. That's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I never let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more.
Now, usually,
Let's move it forward. You see the amount of detail it takes. You just have to keep working at it.
but you know what they say, body no be firewood. The body needs its rest. Tomorrow is another day, I guess. This took me roughly 9 hours to finish over a span of 2 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this so far because it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the reveal.
All right, so we had our little sketch presentation, and we'll wrap things up. We did have some Mandelas a few minutes earlier, and we'll splice it together.